what do you see will be some of the biggest challenges that housing professionals will face in the coming years?
I think that the issue of cost is a huge concern that I see and I continue to see that we have to address. Everything we do costs more. We have aging facilities. We have building new facilities. We borrow money. We have to pay the money back. So cost is a huge concern that I think it may be the greatest threat we face. And to some degree, that's where the private sector fits in, because I think in some settings, the private sector can do what we do at less cost. I think the item you raised earlier in our discussion about the use of technology and the inability of people to relate to each other face to face is a concern that I have. That I watch my 3- and 4-year-old grandchildren hop onto the iPad and use the iPad like they were born using it. And who knows in their lifetime what they're going to see. I would hope that they are as proficient at the interpersonal part as they age, as they get older, as they are at an early age using the technology. Those are two things I think that I see that when I see the political system in the United States being so dysfunctional, I think it really presents a bad role model to, or a negative role model to our young people, because there are two groups of adults that don't seem to be able to talk to each other and reach solutions. And what does that tell our young people? And does it drive them back into their technology because it feels good to do that as opposed to have a difficult conversation with someone?
I think one of the biggest ones that we're already facing is just the mere price, the price of higher education. I have heard from colleagues here, and this is in the year 2012, price tags as high as $65,000 for tuition, room, and board, and that is just unbelievable. So we've got to get to a point at some point where we're not going to price ourselves out of the market. I think that's one of the bigger challenges. The changing students that are coming to us, big challenges for us too. For those of us that are more on the seasoned level, it's kind of a challenge now. We used to be able to do room assignments and people would write letters to each other and show up and meet each other and be okay. With Facebook and whatever, it's just so much easier now for them to jump to conclusions and not give something a chance and want immediate reaction. So I think those are, the social media is just going to be, we're going to have to learn how to embrace it and make it work.
We're going to see a lot more students coming in that have mental, emotional issues. I think, again, the parents are going to be the more stealth bomber type parents, that we're going to have to work with them more closely. And I think that it's just going to be a very exciting time. I think some of our competencies are going to change. I almost see us going back to a counselor mode because of the mental health issues that we have. We'll work much more closely with those counselors. Had it not been for the counselors back in the 1960s, I don't know if we would have gotten through the student rights movement. And I almost see us going back and appreciating those people who are counselors. I can tell you from personal experience, I'm working more with the counseling center, or I have been working more at the counseling center in the last 5 years than I've worked, in a number of years, just because of the emotional baggage that many of our students are coming to school with.
Well, I think that the whole financial question is right at the top of this. I don't think this goes away for some time. I think states are going to cut budgets. They're going to cut their support to higher education. I think the federal government is likely to move more strongly in that direction. And I think you have to be really thoughtful about what are my priorities, what are the things that we need to fund and things that we need to finance, where can I find additional revenue, and still maintain a value. Because I am deeply concerned that we could price ourselves out of the market. And I think that the other thing that you have to do is you have to show the value that you provide. You know, if we can be part of academic success, that's incredibly important, and what a great statement to make.
I think the economy makes a difference for housing, and I think, you know, we need to realize public-private partnerships are going to be a way for the future. I think it's going to happen more and more, and I know there's still some people that don't embrace that, and I think they need to just open up their eyes and just sort of be aware that that exists and that is a possibility, and don't just close the doors. I think that's going to be a challenge because of the financial aspects of renovating facilities or building new facilities, and sometimes universities don't have the money to do that or can't do the bonds to do that. So just be aware that the business aspect of housing is going to be more and more critical as we go down the road.